Welcome to my new video. In this video I'm going to show you how to build a very simple one transistor transmitter, FM transmitter. You can use this to transmit music from your phone around your garden, around your house, you know, a couple of roads down the road. Now this transmitter is not going to use any special parts. Well, it won't need a circuit board. This is one I designed and got manufactured. So we won't be using a circuit board as such. We're going to build it using what you call the bird nest design. So basically we're just going to solder the components to one another. And I'll show you how easy it is to create a stable transmitter for next to nothing. Well, I hope you enjoy the build. Shall we see what parts we need? Well, this is the part to make the transmitter up. Your resistors, your caps. That's just a standard 3.5mm audio lead. There's our antenna. There's our battery connector. Just the one transistor in this. And there's the 5-turn coil. That's it, we've got no circuit board. Shall we build it? Alright, the first part of this build is doing the front stage of the pre-emphasis circuit. So basically we're going to start with R1 and R2 and C1 and C2. So basically you just twist these across. We'll do the one side at the moment, because I'll show you what we'll do with the other side in a minute. We'll just twist the one side. Simple as that. There you go. That's it, one side done. Next we just twist the lead around like that. That's it. Could be the left or right channel, doesn't really matter. Right, we'll solder these up a bit later. Right, that's R1, R2 and C2 and C1 together. Next what we'll do, solder these together. Just use a bit of flux. Always helps in soldering, especially when you're doing soldering like this. What I'll do, I'll solder these together. Yeah, it's not the best soldering iron in the world, but it's all for these quick jobs. There's the one. That's the next one. Alright, next what we need to do now is join these two together at the one end. And we'll join them up to this 1 UF cap. It does say on the data sheet, it's a 4.7 UF, but it's a 1 UF. There we go. So we've got left and right channel. Looks a bit messy at the moment. Is that alright? Is it focused? Alright, next part to install is the 22K. Right. See, that's in the output of the cap. Right, that's the first part of the circuit built. Now this is the pre-emphasis circuit. Now you need this circuit when you're putting audio into one of these simple transmitters. what the pre-emphasis circuit does, it basically minimises the distortion and the saturation of the audio signal going into the base of the transistor. So without this circuit, it sound awful. So basically, it just clears the audio signal up and makes it sound reasonable. Alright, what we'll do now, we'll get onto the tank circuit, the oscillator part of the transmitter. Right, next we're going to fit C6, the 10pf cap, onto the collector and emitter side of the transistor. This is basically the feedback cap that keeps the tank circuit working. Without this, the circuit won't work at all. So simply, I hope you can see that. Not going to be the best soldering in the world, but trying to do this over the camera and the light and everything else is quite difficult. Alright. There we go. So as you can see there now, the 10pf cap is now attached to the transistor. Next we're just going to shorten the leads on the transistor. There we go. Well, next I'm going to attach the coil to the collector side of the transistor. But what I need to do is just bend these two legs upwards. Careful not to break it. You'll see why I do this at the end of the video. You see that alright? Right. The flux. Now, because I'm not using any special parts in this build, to change the frequency we can just use the coil. Just compress and expand the coil. Expanding the coil will increase the frequency. Compressing it will decrease the frequency. So we're not using a variable cap. In a lot of my videos, a lot of people say they have trouble finding that part, so we're not going to use one of this. There we go. So that's the coil, fitted one side. Alright, next we're going to install C5, the 33pf, that goes across the coil. This might be a little bit tricky here. What I don't want to do is desolder the part just underneath. So one side. Apologise if my hands get in the way a bit. Can you see that just? There we go. That's the 33pf in. There we go. Our next part to install is R5. It says on the diagram that you read in there it's 100 ohm, but I couldn't find an 100 ohm. This is an 150 ohm. So that'll do. So I'll do, just shorten that lead. And that's going on to the emitter side of the transistor. Right, see that? Just try and keep the leads as short as possible if you're going to build this, because I know a lot of my subscribers do build what I show. Here we go. Alright, next part is the C4, the 1N, that goes across ground to the base of the transistor. You have to bend this into shape. So 1N, can you see that? You see the base of the transistor just sticking out here. See like that? Yep, let's get that nicely. There we go. Right, next part to be installed is C7. This is the cap that goes from the emitter side of the transistor, and this will be the output to the antenna. Now, if you notice on a lot of these transmitters on the internet, the actual output from the antenna will go from the collector side, but the collector side is very sensitive. So anything going near the antenna will move the frequency really bad. So because this is a simple one transistor circuit, if I tap the antenna off the emitter side, it makes the transistor a hell of a lot more stable. Alright, what I'll do next is just fold the cap I've just installed, I'll fold it inwards. Because what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to hot glue it and put it in some heat shrink. So I'll have to hot glue it to make sure none of the connections short. Right, see how narrow that is? Looks a bit of a mess, but once you do the parts one by one and you're looking at what you're doing, you can't go wrong with it. It's very simple. Simple circuit. Well, I've got one more part to install on the oscillator part of the circuit. It's this 47k resistor that goes from the positive side of the battery, which is here, to the base of the transistor, which is just here. I'll show you. Alright, so we should get that installed. That's that. Alright, and there's your base, remember, just here, the middle of the transistor. On most transistors, the base on the NPN transistors, the base is the middle one. Some are different. Right, can we see that there? So we just got to solder that. There we go. To the base. There we go, now solder. There we go. Here we go, two parts of the circuit now complete. Don't forget, this is our pre-emphasis circuit. Explained earlier why we need this. So left or right channel, that could be left, that could be right. For this resistor and capacitator on both sides, into the cap, and that's the output here, which will go to the base of the transistor, just like here. Right, now here's your antenna out, so we'll need to attach our antenna to that. Now your battery lead here, our positive will connect to this side of the coil. Yeah, just like here. And the other side will connect to your bottom of your your 150 ohm resistor. So basically we've got to put it all together as neat as we can, test it, I'll hot glue it, and we'll tube it up. Okay, so the next stage now is we're going to solder the audio input, which is the output here, on the 22K, which is R3, and we're going to attach that to the base of the transistor. That's how we get our modulation. Right, that's focused. Right. There we go. So that's in there. Looks a bit messy, but it'll be alright in the end. Alright, now there's our input we've just done. So now we've got our left to right channels here, and this one here is the ground. So basically what we need to do now is get our audio lead. You can get these from anywhere. Let's just zoom out a bit. Oops, wrong that. Right. I pulled this off an old MP3 player, I think it was. So you've got your left, your right, and your ground. The first thing I'll do is just cut these leads here, so they're all levelish. There we go. So as you can see here now, like I said, left, right channel, ground, and antenna out. Okay, should we attach our audio input now? There's the one side. So one. That's the other. And the last one is our ground. There we go. That's audio input done. Alright, got a lot left now. Just okay, next stage is attaching the battery connector. Here we go. So if you've been following the circuit, you'll know where positive goes. It goes here. So which is this side of the coil. There we go. On the other side, goes straight to our ground. There we go. Okay, next stage is the antenna. Well, I think that's the last stage. So we'll stick our antenna on. Remember, our antennas fit in here. Alright. There we go. All complete. Looks a bit of a mess, but we'll tidy that up in a bit once we've tested it. Very simple really, it's a very simple circuit. So basically you can make your own transmitter, so you can transmit all around your house and your garden, and 1 or 2 streets down the road. There we go. Should we test it next? Okay, after that, does it work? Well, I'll plug it in. There we go, there's our frequency counter. You've seen this on many more videos. There we go. This is the first time I've powered this up. Bang on. Well, it's on a low frequency, it's on 86.5. So what I can do is just pull the coil apart. Just lower the frequency. There we go. Bang on, 95.1. Okay, so that's working. So next thing I'll do now is hot glue it and tube it in. Yep, see that frequency down? There we go. All working. Now, shall we go and get the hot gun? The glue gun. Well, just before I do the hot gluing, what I'm going to do is just add one more component. It's going to be an 100 hen cap across the battery. Basically, this helps stabilise the transmitter when when your battery's starting to go. So you can use a 22N up to even a 1 UF, even a 10 UF. Right, so it's not too fussy about what cap you use here, as long as it's over a 22N. So we'll attach it to the positive and negative of the battery input. That's the one side on. There we go, simple as that. It's out there, we'll zoom in a bit. So you can see where I've fitted it. Oh, where's my screwdriver? There it goes out to the bottom of the 150 ohm resistor. Simple as that. Alright, ready for the hot glue. Well, next stage now is hot gluing. You've got to be extremely careful doing this stage because you don't want any wires touching. So I've just checked all it out, it looks alright. So I don't want to glue the coil in, do I? Because we're going to use that for adjusting the coil. Right, there's one side. So let that cool down. Alright, I'm just about to hot glue the back in. So when you're doing this, if you're going to do it, just make sure your left and right channels are completely separate before you glue them in. And same with the ground wire and the antenna wire is pretty close, on about 1 millimetre there. So there we go. Don't look very nice at the moment, but once it's got its cover on, it'll be right. What you can do is get a radio nearby, so when you're doing this, just make sure it doesn't go off frequency. In case you've touched the wires that shouldn't be touching. Well, I've done the underneath, just the top now. So I'll glue that down. Well, we'll let that cool down. Alright, next is putting the heat shrink on, tidy up. Here's a bit of heat shrink. Just make sure our coil's sticking out so we can adjust the frequency. Just slide that over. Just pull that through. I'll have to straighten that coil up. Well, there we go. So what I'll do now, just get that on the cooker, heat it up, and there's our little transmitter. get this on there. Turn the gas on. Well, be careful doing this, you might burn your hands, but I've done this hundreds of times. There we go. All done. There's a thin transmitter, isn't it? Your audio input. Battery connector. And a nice thin transmitter. Where are we? Next we'll put some audio in. Right, we're all done now. Here we go. So basically all we need to do now to adjust the frequency, just pull them apart or push them in. We should get about 7-8 megahertz to play with. Now I should put some audio in now. Okay, I've gone upstairs. Now what I need to do now is put some audio in and see if it works. So what I'll do.
We do solemnly swear to replace your brake pads or shoes for free under our Brakes for Life guarantee.
There we go, so we'll just plug the...
Free for the whole life of your car. Even better, Alan. Free for the...
Put the audio in. Let's connect our battery. Now when I first built this, it was on about 93 megahertz, but since I put the 100 end cap across the battery, the frequency's gone up slightly. That's normal. There we go.
Make it a date.
There we go.
Wednesday, February the 26th is cashback day for the trade at all branches of Plumbase and Plumbase Spares. Conditions apply. Cashback relates to price.
Volume down.
The famous WLMG Swap and Go event is
That's transmitting perfectly. Now you might think because this is a one transistor circuit, it would be very unstable. Well, it would be if I was using the antenna, if I was connecting the antenna to the highly sensitive collector, but I haven't. Yep. Get a bit of movement then. Hold the battery, no problem. And hold the antenna.
I've heard her answering your phone. She's there every time I call.
Perfect.
My e-receptionist.
Yeah.
She just answers my business calls.
Yes, her. She's...
Alright, can you see the range?
Yes.
Right, just to make sure it is this.
E-receptionist. All your calls. So your customers speak to the right people
There we
every
go.
time. Avoiding any
Downstairs.
straws. For your free trial, go to ereceptionist.co.uk.
Wonga, 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 away, Mr. Wonga. Lend me some dough.
Right, still got a perfect signal.
Make it the simplest song that I'll ever know.
The Wonga way.
Give me two choices when I go online.
The Wonga
One,
way.
how much I want and two, for what length of time. Mr. Wonga at Wonga.com.
Wonga.com.
I come to you when I don't need money for long.
For a short-term
Right,
line
on the
that
other
you
side of the house
control,
now.
visit wonga.com. Straight to
The transmitter now.
Terms and conditions apply.
I was on the other side of the house. Perfect signal.
Online and on TV at Virgin Media Channel 9.
Well, not bad range really. Out of a single transistor transmitter.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Listen to that sound, eh?
Yes, Sam, very, very excited
Good,
about
isn't it?
You should see the get-up I'm going to be
Yeah.
Go and build one yourself, no special parts are needed.
House on Thursday.
Show you
the
to do
colours
it.
you wear, that's all we're saying.
If you know, if you
yes,
caps and
coming up next,
resistors
though,
and one
made a welcome
transistor.
return after his half-term break. It's Darren got
You can make one of these yourself.
Welcome back, Adrian Dunn. Cheers, lads. Yeah, Norwich boss Chris Houghton is with us on the show.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe if you haven't.
Spurs yesterday. And in terms of the top four, have Everton given
Oh,
up?
see you soon.
Have Spurs given up? Liverpool's defence.
I almost forgot. One thing I forgot to show you is how to change the frequency. Now this is why I left the call outside. Just like that. Alright.
Changed than he was by
So that's right on the end of the door.
But Doug knew that by sticking with us, he'd
That's all we need to do now to change frequency. Just push the call in.
I saved over £2,000 not Doug,
Right,
you're
so
an
push that in.
inspiration. See what you could save by not partexing. Enter your reg number now. WeBuyAnyCar.com, the
Right,
UK's
push it,
favourite
we'll
car
lower the
buying
frequency.
service.
Same again, push it in.
That Bob. Better tools get you a better job. The authors say, if you want to get them for less, you better get the
There we go.
Screwfix now.
Simple as that.
Walter Makita.
So basically you're just pushing the coil
Savings and exclusive deals
and expand the coil
brand power tools
to change the frequency.
right now at Screwfix.
Oh, I can hold that, look. You can't touch the coil, that's the tank circuit, so.
More power for less. That's better. See all 355
Right, innit?
Screwfix stores now or screwfix.com.
It was just supposed to be a quiet night out with the boys, but next thing I knew...